The original British version of The Office is better than its broader, wackier American remake in most ways, but the US show improved on one specific aspect of its source material. There's been a lot of debate about which version of The Office is best. The American show is certainly a much warmer, more light-hearted show, and its longer run allowed it to dig a lot deeper into its characters. But the British original is a much more realistic portrayal of a mundane office environment, with more relatable situations. The US version of The Office is easily the best American remake of a British TV series ever made, but that's a really low bar to clear. The original show is much tighter, it's perfect from beginning to end, whereas the stateside version has several polarizing plotlines and The Office's quality took a nosedive in the last 2 seasons. But, while the UK original does have a lot of advantages over its US remake, the American version of The Office undeniably improved on the characters in the warehouse. The US Office made the warehouse crew much funnier and more likable. The British show doesn't have a Daryl equivalent. In both the British and American versions of The Office, the titular office is the sales branch of a paper company, and it's attached to a warehouse housing their regional supply of paper products. Both shows contrast the white-collar workers of The Office with the blue-collar workers in the warehouse, and explore the class divide, as well as their social and cultural differences. But in the British version, the warehouse crew is wholly unlikable. The American remake improved on this aspect and made the warehouse workers much funnier and more likable. The foreman in the British series, Taffy, is a loudmouthed bigot. The American remake adapted him into a much more lovable character, Craig Robinson's Darryl Philbin, a relatable everyman and a hilarious foil for Michael Scott. Over the course of the series, the warehouse crew was rounded out as an amusing workforce full of colorful characters like Hyde, Nate Nickerson, and Lonnie, the sea monster. Roy's violent temper and mistreatment of Pam made him pretty unlikable, but even he had some funny moments, thanks to his immaturity. The warehouse workers were just mean and unpleasant in the UK original. They made the show uncomfortable, in a bad way. David and Jennifer talk to Taffy in The Office UK. In the British version of The Office, the warehouse workers are so horrible and mean-spirited that they just make the audience uncomfortable. Discomfort was one of The Office's most valuable comedic currencies. It's a masterpiece of cringe comedy, but the warehouse scenes aren't uncomfortable in a funny way, they're just unpleasant. The British warehouse workers have no redeeming qualities and almost all their lines contain a misogynistic or homophobic remark. The US version of The Office didn't improve on everything, but it did make the warehouse crew much more enjoyable.